It was precious time with Hollywood's biggest star. An interview with Tom Cruise.
If there's anyone who thrives on adrenaline and the thrill of doing the impossible, it's Tom Cruise. He's built a remarkable career playing daring characters, always keeping us on the edge of our seats. But it's not just his movies that keep us hooked. His love life has done the same. And when it comes to marriage, luck has never really been on his side. With 3 failed marriages behind him, here's the real reason Tom Cruise says he will never get married again. From small-town dreamer to Hollywood daredevil, the making of Tom Cruise. Sure, we all know him as the daredevil of Hollywood, the guy who throws himself off skyscrapers and drives cars like he's got nothing to lose. But long before the stunts, the red carpets, and the headline-making romances, Tom Cruise was just a scrappy kid trying to make sense of a chaotic world. So how did that little boy from Syracuse, New York, become one of the most bankable stars in Hollywood history? Tom was born on July 3, 1962, to electrical engineer Thomas Cruise Mapotha III and special education teacher Mary Lee. Both of his parents hailed from Louisville, Kentucky, with a mix of English, German, and Irish roots. He had 3 sisters, Leanne, Marion, and Cass, and a cousin, William Mapotha, who would later follow him into acting, showing up alongside Tom in 5 films. Life at home wasn't exactly picture-perfect. Cruise grew up near poverty and under a strict Catholic upbringing. His father, he later described, was a merchant of chaos, a bully and a coward who would beat his children. Tom remembered the constant mix of lull and lash. One moment you felt safe, the next, bam, he'd explode. Cruise called it a lesson in survival. His father died of cancer in 1984, leaving a complicated legacy behind. School was a revolving door. Over 14 years, Cruise attended 15 schools, moving constantly with his family. A stint in Canada came when his father took a defense consulting job with the Canadian Armed Forces, landing them in Ottawa's Beacon Hill neighborhood. It was here, in 4th grade at Robert Hopkins Public School, that Tom first dipped his toes into drama. Under the guidance of teacher George Steinberg, he and 6 other boys performed an improvised musical play called IT at the school festival. Drama organizer Val Wright later said the boys' performance was excellent, a classic ensemble piece. That early taste of the stage would stick. By 6th grade, life shifted again. His mother left his father, bringing Tom and his sisters back to the U.S., and later remarried Jack South in 1978. Cruise even tried a spiritual path, taking a Catholic scholarship to attend St. Francis Seminary in Cincinnati, hoping to join the Franciscan order. But he lasted only a year. Some say it was the family's constant moving. Others talk about youthful mischief. Getting caught with liquor didn't help. High school was a mix of promise and rebellion. Tom played football as a linebacker for Glen Ridge High School, but a beer-fueled mistake got him cut from the team. He wasn't one to sulk, though. He threw himself into the school's theater program and landed a lead in Guys and Dolls, channeling his energy into performance. In 1980, he graduated, already hinting at the fearless presence that would soon make the world sit up and take notice. Tom Cruise's breakthrough in stardom. At 18, with the blessing of his mother and stepfather, Tom Cruise took the leap that would change his life forever. He packed up and moved to New York City, ready to chase his dream. Starting out, he worked as a busboy, sweating it out while the city moved around him, before heading west to Los Angeles to test the waters of television. Signing with CAA, he jumped into films, hungry and fearless. His first screen appearance came in 1981 with a tiny role in Endless Love, but it was Taps later that year that began turning heads. Originally slated as a background extra, Cruise blew director Harold Becker away, landing a major supporting role as a crazed military academy student. Just like that, the kid from Syracuse was starting to command attention. 1983 would mark a turning point. Cruise snagged the role of Steve Randall in Francis Ford Coppola's The Outsiders, rubbing shoulders with a cast of soon-to-be icons, Matt Dillon, Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, and Diane Lane. That same year, he appeared in All the Right Moves and Risky Business, the latter quickly becoming a Generation X classic and a career-launching powerhouse. By 1985, he played the male lead in Ridley Scott's fantasy epic Legend, showing he wasn't just a pretty face, he could carry a film. Then came Top Gun in 1986, and with it, Cruise exploded into superstardom. His fame skyrocketed, cementing him as Hollywood's ultimate heartthrob and action hero. That same year, he paired with Paul Newman in Martin Scorsese's The Color of Money, and critics were enchanted. The Washington Post praised the chemistry between the two, noting how audiences genuinely felt them as top-tier pool hustlers. But Cruise wasn't just about box office numbers. 1988 saw him in Cocktail, a hit with audiences but panned by critics, earning him a Razzie nomination for Worst Actor. Redemption came swiftly with Rain Man, co-starring Dustin Hoffman, which would go on to win the Academy Award for Best Picture. The 90s were a relentless blur of hits. Days of Thunder and Far and Away paired him with then-wife Nicole Kidman, mixing love and ambition both on and off screen. The Firm solidified his reputation as a leading man in thrillers, while 1994's Interview with the Vampire had Anne Rice herself initially skeptical, only to later pay for an ad praising Cruise's performance and apologizing for doubting him. Then came 1996, and with it, Mission Impossible. Not only did Cruise star as Ethan Hunt, but he also produced it, proving he wasn't just an actor. He was a brand, a force, a franchise machine. That same year, he played Jerry Maguire, a sports agent searching for love, in Cameron Crowe's hit, raking in over $273 million worldwide. By 1999, Cruise was fearless, taking on the erotic and psychological challenges of Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut alongside Kidman, and later, the wild energy of Paul Thomas Anderson's Magnolia. Critics raved. Rolling Stone called him devastating, seething with the chaotic energy of a wounded animal. Awards and nominations piled up, cementing Cruise as both a star and an actor of serious range. But even stars stumble. In 2006, Paramount officially ended its 14-year partnership with Cruise, citing the economic fallout of his controversial public persona. Industry insiders, though, suggested the split was more about money. Cruise, Wagner Productions' massive share of DVD sales had Paramount seeing red. Cruise shrugged off the drama, moving forward with projects like Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol without Wagner, achieving critical and commercial success once more. Fast forward to January 2024. Cruise's production company announced a new partnership with Warner Bros. Discovery, setting the stage for original and franchise films that will keep his name at the center of Hollywood's conversation. From a busboy in New York to the world's most fearless action star, Tom Cruise has never slowed down, and he's showing no signs of stopping. Tom Cruise's most controversial moments. Tom Cruise has always had a way of making the news, and over the years, he has racked up more headlines than most Hollywood stars could dream of. In a time when A-listers often fade into the background, Cruise has carved out a lonely, almost untouchable perch at the top. For decades, he has remained one of the film industry's biggest draws, thanks to blockbuster franchises like Mission Impossible. But it's never just his films making news. Cruise has a reputation for stealing the spotlight off screen too, and his outlandish behavior has become the stuff of legend. In 2020, he was caught on camera screaming at crew members during the filming of Mission Impossible 7 for failing to follow COVID-19 safety protocols. The rant leaked publicly, making headlines around the world, yet it was just another example in a long line of strange and explosive moments. From arguments and injuries to declarations of love, Cruise has always kept people guessing. Perhaps the most infamous of all came during his 2005 interview on Oprah Winfrey's show, widely regarded as one of the strangest public displays of affection ever captured on video. While there to promote War of the Worlds, Cruise's declaration of love for then-girlfriend Katie Holmes completely overshadowed the film. He was seen jumping manically on Oprah's furniture, a spectacle that later became iconic when he parodied the moment on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Cruise's appetite for adrenaline extends far beyond romance. Known for performing his own stunts, the Mission Impossible franchise offered endless opportunities for him to push the limits. He scaled the world's tallest building, dangled from an airplane mid-flight, and during a rooftop-to-rooftop jump in Mission Impossible Fallout, he broke his ankle, a grisly moment he later shared on The Graham Norton Show. His membership in the Church of Scientology has also produced moments of public fascination. In 2008, a leaked promotional video featured Cruise speaking in an intense, almost mercurial manner about the benefits of Scientology, leaving viewers bewildered. Another notorious moment came during a 2005 interview with Matt Lauer on The Today Show. After Brooke Shields revealed she had used antidepressants for postpartum depression, Cruise criticized psychiatry, calling it a pseudoscience, and insisted he knew the history of the field better than most. He later admitted that his tone had come across as arrogant. Even the red carpet has provided opportunities for headline-grabbing moments. In 2005, during a Channel 4 prank, an interviewer sprayed Cruise with a jet of water. He reportedly called the stunt incredibly rude and repeatedly labeled the interviewer a jerk, insisting that he was there to give an interview. The incident escalated to involve police, and Channel 4 eventually issued an apology. Cruise's flair for the bizarre doesn't stop there. In 2008, he took on what might be his weirdest film role yet in Tropic Thunder, playing the balding, paunchy studio executive Leigh Grossman. The character returned in 2010 during the MTV Awards, where Cruise performed a strange dance alongside Jennifer Lopez. In 2004, he received the Church of Scientology's Freedom Medal of Valor for achievement in the field of excellence. His unusual acceptance speech, delivered to a painting of the church's founder L. Ron Hubbard, was later leaked online, leaving fans outside the organization both bemused and amused. Interviews have often proven equally tense. On 60 Minutes Australia, when reporter Peter Overton pressed him about his wife Nicole Kidman, Cruise reportedly warned that the questioning had crossed a line and demanded that manners be restored. Less confrontational, but no less peculiar. His appearance on David Letterman's late-night show in the mid-2000s featured him laughing uncontrollably for several minutes while attempting to share an anecdote about a film. The near-hysterical fit of laughter carried on for the duration of the interview, with Letterman and everyone in the audience joining in, creating a moment that has endured as one of Cruise's strangest public appearances. From explosive on-set rants to maniacal declarations of love, Tom Cruise has always ensured that the world is watching. Even when people are left bewildered or amused, it's clear that when he steps into a room or onto a screen, he takes over completely. Tom Cruise's high-profile relationships. Tom Cruise has always kept the world guessing when it comes to his love life. Most recently, he was spotted holding hands with Knives Out actress Ana de Armas in July 2025, seemingly confirming a relationship after months of speculation. But before Ana, Cruise's romantic history read like a Hollywood who's who. He's been married 3 times, but his early relationships also made waves. Before fame fully hit, he was linked to Little House on the Prairie star Melissa Gilbert and singer Patti Scialfa. Cruise's first celebrity romance was with Gilbert. On a 2014 episode of Watch What Happens Live, Gilbert recalled that teenage Cruise was a good kisser and that when they dated, he was still using his birth name Tom Mapother, having just moved to Los Angeles. She mentioned being 16 or 17 at the time and remembered him as a struggling, starving actor while she was working, adding that she had even bought him his first set of dishes. Then there was Cher. Cruise, 22, and Cher, 39, first crossed paths in 1985 at Madonna and Sean Penn's Malibu wedding, though it wasn't love at first sight. They reconnected later that year at a White House event. Cher described the brief romance as intense, calling it pretty hot and heavy for a little minute. Years later, in a 2013 episode of Watch What Happens Live, Cher ranked Cruise among her top 5 all-time best lovers. Cruise also had a fleeting romance with Patti Scialfa, who was a backup singer on Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA tour. The two briefly dated in 1985 before Scialfa moved on to other relationships in New York. She eventually married Springsteen in 1991, and they went on to have 3 children. Mimi Rogers entered Cruise's life through a dinner party in 1985, back when he wasn't yet the megastar the world would soon know. She described him as a talented, normal guy, still far from the global fame that Top Gun would bring. The couple married in May 1987 in a small, private ceremony that Rogers described as very normal and completely intimate. Their marriage lasted until January 1990, with the divorce finalized the following month. While Cruise rarely spoke publicly about the split, Rogers later hinted that the pressures of his rising fame played a role, explaining that marriage to him meant ceasing to be an individual, because no matter what was written in the press, it was always about Tom Cruise's wife, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Their high-profile romance survived the harsh glare of Hollywood until it couldn't anymore. In the 1990s, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman were nearly untouchable. Cruise was headlining blockbusters like Jerry Maguire and the Mission Impossible franchise, while Kidman led hits such as Batman Forever and Practical Magic. Together, they were one of Hollywood's most talked-about couples, fiercely defending the happiness and legitimacy of their marriage for 11 years, until the relentless tabloid scrutiny eventually tore them apart in the public eye. Cruise met Kidman in 1990 on the set of the race car drama Days of Thunder, fresh off his divorce from Mimi Rogers. Though the movie flopped at the box office, the chemistry between the co-stars was undeniable. Cruise admitted to Entertainment Weekly in 1995 that his first reaction to meeting Kidman was pure lust, describing it as completely physical. Kidman later told Du Jour that she had fallen madly and passionately in love with her on-screen partner, recalling that she would have gone to the ends of the earth for him. After the courtship, Cruise and Kidman married on Christmas Eve that same year in Telluride, Colorado. Throughout the 1990s, they constantly pushed back against media scrutiny. Cruise explained in a 1996 Entertainment Weekly interview that every small step Kidman took became magnified because she was with him, adding that the constant judgment added pressure and was a downside of being married to Tom Cruise. The couple didn't shy away from taking legal action to protect their reputation. They filed multiple lawsuits against tabloids over false claims, winning retractions and apologies each time, often donating the settlements to charity. In 1998, when a British tabloid alleged their marriage was a sham, Cruise insisted to CBS News that he was determined to protect his family and that legal recourse was necessary to confront those spreading vicious lies. Despite the unrelenting press coverage, Cruise and Kidman built a life together, adopting 2 children, Isabella and Connor. They even reunited on screen in 1999's Eyes Wide Shut. Yet, by early 2001, the pressures of their careers and long periods apart began to weigh heavily on their marriage. On February 5, 2001, the couple announced their separation after 11 years together, citing the difficulty of balancing 2 acting careers and the extended time spent apart. Kidman admitted to People that she had once believed their life together was perfect and described the split as a shock to her system. When Vanity Fair asked Cruise in 2002 why they divorced, he explained that both he and Kidman knew the reasons, emphasizing that she was the mother of his children and that he wished her well. He added that, despite doing everything possible to make things work, sometimes life forces you to confront brutal realities, and that moving on was part of that process. Today, Cruise rarely speaks about Kidman, though he has recently referred to her as a great actress, while Kidman herself didn't publicly discuss the split until years later, reflecting that it took her a very long time to heal. After his split from Kidman, Cruise briefly dated Vanilla Sky co-star Penelope Cruz, going public with the romance in August 2001. Cruise described the relationship to reporters in January 2002 as very special, something that made him genuinely happy despite the media attention. Their relationship, however, didn't last, ending in January 2004. Cruise's sister and then publicist, Leigh Ann DeVette, described the split to People as amicable. Sources close to the couple noted that the breakup was largely due to their busy schedules. The relationship, the source explained, simply ran its course, with both actors spending more time apart than together while filming in different parts of the world. Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes. Has anyone ever been more in love than couch-jumping Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes? It's hard to imagine. Beginning in 2005, Holmes, already a rising fashion and style icon, and Cruise embarked on a whirlwind romance that quickly became a media spectacle. Their PDA-filled red carpet appearances cemented the couple as Tomcat in the public eye. Within a year of meeting, they were engaged and welcoming a child together. A few months later, they tied the knot. Holmes' first marriage and Cruise's third. While skeptics predicted the union wouldn't last, and they were ultimately right, the pair still shared nearly 6 years as husband and wife. The story goes that after Cruise's high-profile split from Nicole Kidman and his brief romance with Penelope Cruz, the actor's Church of Scientology took an active role in helping him find a suitable and pliable partner. Reportedly, famous women such as Sofia Vergara and Scarlett Johansson were considered, though many were allegedly intimidated away. Ultimately, the search bore fruit through a 17 magazine article. In October 2004, Holmes, then engaged to Chris Klein, admitted to the teen publication that she had once thought she would marry Tom Cruise. 6 months later, she and Klein broke up, and Cruise and Holmes were first spotted together in Rome on April 27, 2005. 2 days later, the couple made their red carpet debut at the David Di Donatello Awards, fueling speculation that the church's matchmaking had worked its magic. Holmes later told the New York Times Style magazine that when she met Cruise, she was completely in love with him and had admired him growing up, calling him Tom Cruise. The public got its first taste of the intensity of their romance when Cruise appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show and famously jumped on the couch to profess his love for Holmes, whom he brought out from backstage. The moment went viral, sparking endless debate over Cruise's sanity and the authenticity of their relationship. Shortly after the Oprah appearance, Cruise announced at a press conference for War of the Worlds that he and Holmes were engaged. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Cruise, then 43, proposed with a 5-carat yellow diamond ring at a restaurant atop the Eiffel Tower, describing the day as magnificent and Holmes as a magnificent woman. Holmes gave birth to their daughter Suri in Santa Monica, California, in April 2006, with the newborn making her public debut on the cover of Vanity Fair that October. The actress described to the magazine the indescribable feeling when the doctor handed her Suri, recalling that looking into her daughter's eyes was a moment that made her feel fully ready for motherhood. Suri quickly became a pop culture phenomenon in her own right, inspiring the infamous Suri's Burn book. In November 2006, Holmes's dream of marrying Cruise came true with a lavish wedding at an Italian castle, costing over $3 million. The star-studded guest list included Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony, John Travolta and the late Kelly Preston, and David and Victoria Beckham. Holmes had her sister Nancy Blaylock as her maid of honor, while Cruise chose Scientology leader David Miscavige as his best man. The marriage, however, didn't last. After Cruise gave a Playboy interview praising Holmes, she filed for divorce. Cruise admitted to CBS News that he had not expected the divorce, but the proceedings were smooth, with a settlement reached in just 11 days. The split fueled speculation that Holmes's primary motivation was to free Suri from the unique constraints of Scientology. During a deposition against Bauer Media, when asked whether Holmes left him to protect their daughter from the church, Cruise expressed that there was no need to protect Suri from his religion. When further questioned about whether Holmes explicitly mentioned leaving for Suri's sake, Cruise acknowledged that it had been one of the assertions. Holmes was granted primary custody of Suri, and although Cruise had ample visitation rights, reports indicated that he rarely saw his daughter. By 2016, In Touch Weekly reported that Cruise had not seen or spoken to Suri in over 1,000 days, or roughly 2.5 years. Fast forward to July 2025, Cruise was spotted holding hands with Knives Out actress Ana de Armas during a Vermont getaway, where de Armas owns a home. The outing appeared to confirm a relationship that had been simmering under public radar for months. Rumors first emerged in February 2025 after the pair were photographed during a night out in London. They were later seen together multiple times, including at de Armas's 37th birthday celebration. A source told People exclusively that de Armas regards Cruise as an incredible mentor ahead of their work on the thriller Deeper, adding that she had nothing but positive things to say about him. But while the headlines have often followed Cruise's whirlwind romances, his love life today paints a very different picture. Far from the intense media scrutiny and fleeting flings of his past, Cruise now appears to be embracing a calmer, more grounded chapter. Tom Cruise admits why he will never get married again. Tom Cruise appears to be settling into a surprisingly grounded chapter of his love life with Russian socialite Eltsina Kairova. The Mission Impossible star, now 63, has reportedly met Kairova's children from her first marriage, signaling a level of commitment not always seen in his high-profile romances. Sources tell Us Weekly that the couple has integrated smoothly into Kairova's well-heeled social circle, with everyone agreeing that the pair are a great match. Despite a 25-year age gap, the two reportedly bond over long conversations about world affairs, art, culture, history, and sports. A far cry from the whirlwind romances that have characterized much of Cruise's past. The insider added that the actor feels very relaxed and content in his life right now, leaving the door open to another walk down the aisle. They noted that Cruise has never ruled out marrying again, but the right circumstances have simply never presented themselves. If the romance with Kairova goes the distance, it would be his fourth marriage, following stints with Mimi Rogers, Nicole Kidman, and Katie Holmes. In December, another source revealed that Cruise had introduced his adult children, Isabella and Connor, both from his marriage to Kidman to Kairova. The meeting reportedly went well, with the children happy to see their father experiencing love again. Unlike with his youngest daughter Suri from his marriage to Holmes, Cruise has maintained little to no contact with her in recent years. Following the painful split from Holmes in 2012, insiders say Cruise intentionally took a step back from romance, determined not to rush into anything. Sources now suggest Kairova may finally be the partner who aligns with the actor's more measured approach to love. Kairova herself is no stranger to public attention. Her acrimonious divorce from Dmitry Tsetkov in 2022 made international headlines, not only for the staggering sums involved, but also for the drama that surrounded it. Tsetkov reportedly even issued a tongue-in-cheek warning to Cruise in the Daily Mail, emphasizing Kairova's penchant for the finer things in life and cautioning him to keep both his eyes and his wallet wide open. Yet just as Cruise seemed to be finding domestic stability, sightings of the actor with Ana de Armas reignited public curiosity. In July 2025, Cruise and the From the World of John Wick ballerina actress were spotted holding hands during a Vermont getaway, a move that appeared to confirm the months-long rumors of their romance. The couple had first been photographed together in February 2025 during a night out in London and were seen on multiple occasions afterward, including on de Armas's 37th birthday. Sources close to the pair noted that de Armas regards Cruise as an incredible mentor, especially in preparation for their joint work on the thriller Deeper, and she reportedly has nothing but glowing things to say about him. With Cruise now linked to two high-profile women in such a short period, the question on everyone's mind is whether marriage is still in the cards for Hollywood's famously romantic daredevil. Over the years, Cruise has shown a willingness to fully commit, whether it was the long courtship and passionate chemistry with Nicole Kidman, the whirlwind romance with Katie Holmes, or the mentorship and closeness he cultivates in more recent relationships. While Kairova appears to bring a sense of calm, sophistication, and mutual respect, his highly publicized moments with de Armas suggest he is still very much drawn to the excitement and intensity of high-profile Hollywood connections. As fans and media alike speculate, one thing is clear: Cruise's love life remains as compelling and unpredictable as his on-screen stunts. Whether he chooses to take a quiet, measured route with Kairova or continues to explore sparks elsewhere, the question of whether the Mission Impossible star will tie the knot again hangs in the air. For a man whose personal life has often been as headline-grabbing as his blockbuster career, the next chapter in Cruise's romantic saga promises to be just as fascinating and perhaps just as complicated as everything that came before. Which Mission Impossible is your favorite? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.